you ready?
Whoa! Who's ready for some Weeb Club?
Let's just get into it. We did a round.
God.
Let's just get into it. I don't care.
This guy.
It's fine. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. Good morning to some.
Energy.
Good afternoon to others. Good evening
All
to the
right.
rest. I don't even know. Hi, Al. We're Weeb Club. Yeah.
Doesn't make up morning just because I just woke up. All right. Look, we have to explain. So I'm the worst person ever. We normally record. True Weeb Clubbers would know that. The whole time we've always recorded at like 8:30, and so we were gonna record today like normal time, like normal. And my big dumb stupid ass was like, "All right, I'm gonna take a nap at like 5 o'clock." Like I worked this morning, so I was up at like 5 this morning. But I was like, it's fine. I'll take a nap at like 5, and I'll sleep for like an hour or two, and then I'll get up and I'll record, and everything will be good. And I woke up at 11, so I slept just like 6 hours, like off rip, and that was not what's supposed to happen. And I wake up to a phone call, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, yeah, great. It's
neat.
And it's like the person that was calling me like has a key to my apartment, and was like, oh, are you coming over? Oh, you could have come over here if for 4 hours I wasn't answering my phone. Hello? Like, am I the only one that's supposed to do anything? Like, what do you want from me? So I'm not. Yeah. So I just woke up. So whatever. I'm just the worst human being. These guys were sitting here for like 3 hours waiting to record. I was just fucking sleeping away on my bed, middle of the day, like a fucking degenerate.
I hope you have your list ready. If not, you have to do it while we're talking about comments.
Dude, I can do whatever, whenever. You know what I mean? I'll just make it happen.
Do you have the list?
I have something.
Glad.
I have a mental list.
We're just like, this is like last
I
week.
thought
was
about
fine,
reminding
and now
you
we're already
again,
in just
but
insanity.
I decided not to.
Hey, guess when the list was gonna be done, like officially, like written down and made? Guess when?
When?
When I woke up from the nap before recording.
Based.
I was like, oh, I'll take a little nap, and then I'll wake up, and I'll be in a good headspace, and I'll fucking make this list, and then we'll record, and there'll be no problems. And I slept for 6 hours. Like, what's wrong with me?
Vindy, you forgot that sleeping is like your favorite thing.
It is not. It is not. I do not sleep that much anymore. I sleep like 5 hours a night, and that's
about
it.
How you like sleeping.
Maybe.
Your picture on the Weeb Club art says otherwise.
That's like the biggest problem now is like, I'm not going to sleep tonight. So it's like, cool, great. But yeah. So comments, I guess.
Craftsdwarf, you can go first. You can do the honors. What's your favorite comment?
Well, first I want to mention there was fucking nothing on the Reddit. Nothing on the Reddit. Nothing.
To be fair, there was stuff on the Reddit that I feel like we should have talked about last time, but didn't pay attention to.
Well,
like somebody made a fucking iceberg.
I didn't know it was talked about before because there were multiple episodes that were recorded where I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And you were the one who said blank slate.
You're right.
Just fuck it.
Yeah, that's because I didn't want to fucking open the fucking... Hello? That's because I didn't want to open it. But then I opened it later to see, like, has anyone posted anything? I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, we should have talked about that. But you know what? What?
Vindy's sleeping on the couch tonight. I'm just going to say it.
You got me there.
So are we talking about the Reddit first or what?
The comments?
Oh, wait, no. Reddit always goes after comments. I'm sorry. What's your comment, Craftsdwarf?
Sometimes I wonder why Nun is so obsessed with Lelouch, and then I remember how deeply rooted in risking community he is, and it all makes sense.
Goat comment.
Do you get your Lelouch moments when playing Risk, Nun?
Yes. Look.
Awesome.
Unironically, after I finished season 1 and 2, I won the game of Risk I played after, and I was playing with purple, which is Lelouch's color. I didn't do that on purpose, but I realized after.
I respect
that goes
it.
hard. I love that Nun is known for his risking now.
One of the top 10 riskers in the whole entire world.
That goes hard. That goes dummy hard. Let me see what else is there.
A couple comments about Euphoria. Well, the funniest one is took me way too long to realize that Nunmanji wasn't talking about the Euphoria anime. Those were a confusing couple of minutes, and then never mind, Craftsdwarf talked about it. So,
yeah,
we got some fucking degens in the chat because I think
yeah.
The
It
fact
is
that
so
Ronan
funny.
I don't know. So Ronan 111 also comments on the Nen show, and in my brain I just think like Nen show, pure, wholesome, because Mathis is there, and we kind of stay away from the degenerate stuff. And Ronan 111 has commented on the Nen show. I swear, I'm pretty sure I'm not losing my mind. And then he implies that he's played it, so I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. I mean, it's good, but I don't know. It takes a sort of person.
It's so goofy.
And I have multiple people trying to convince me to make a Euphoria video. Honestly, the biggest problem isn't even like YouTube, because I can talk about it without like showing the sexual stuff. The problem is that I have to replay it to get footage, and I don't feel like that. Or it also like I'd want to replay it anyway, just because like to see if replaying it transforms my experience with understanding what's going on and shit. But I don't know, maybe not off the table.
I really liked the comment by the guy with the Japanese characters. I don't know what that says, but he just mentions how Code Geass is extremely chuny, and I like that as a way of describing the kind of series that Code Geass is in some ways. And I thought his explanation was generally pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this was a great fucking comment as well. I don't think this was... but the guy who says that Code Geass is extremely chuny, I remember seeing an opinion that it shouldn't have been a high school anime because the characters don't act like teenagers, which is a crazy opinion to have when Lelouch's Zero persona is basically embodiment of what a kid would think is actually cool. I'll also say Code Geass is Gundam, but even more exaggerated. And I feel like people fucking forget this all the time, which is like, if it's a, like if it's a series with like high schoolers, yeah, like high schoolers are fucking, like teenagers are fucking dumb and stupid and edgy, but they're not real people. You know what I mean? So like, of course, the like high schooler is gonna be dumb and stupid and edgy and not a real person. Like, you know what I mean? It's like the same thing with Sasuke. It's like people forget he's like literally a 16-year-old boy. Of course, he's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else I have to respond to the comments. So you brought up something, Vindy, in your comment. I don't know if we were going to talk about that or. If it's
oh yeah, I should mention this. So we didn't talk about this last time because none of us. I think it hadn't even come out. Yeah, a lot I guess has come out, and I don't know how much. I assume not as much of y'all. Y'all don't know.
I just searched Set the Program on Twitter, and there were enough like people making fun of it that I got the gist of what was going on, and I was just like, oh, okay, but I don't know exactly what was said or what's been 100% confirmed as true.
Yeah,
what's been accused. I don't know the details.
Yeah, I mean he's just kind of not a good guy, I guess. Is like mainly most of it. I don't know. I mean, stuff came out. Obviously, the main reason I think just like it is smart to mention something. The reason it's smart to mention something at all is just because we have somewhat of a history with him. Obviously, there was the episode on the BSA, and then old member of ours was a
just to explain a bit of the history, just for people who aren't familiar with it. There was a whole infamous thing with the BSA where Set the Program made a dumb video about power scaling and with some of his friends, I think, and we that was actually our first collaborative project, I think, to working together. I think that was I either just joined the BSA or was about, or this was just before I did, I think, and it was the three of us did a response video on I think that was on what's channel, we also, before that we invited Set the Programmer onto the Weeb Club, or not the Weeb Club,
the BSA episode that was a shit show.
It was the debate with so this was obviously not with Nunmanji, But I guess we have a history with there. But I guess really though the history, it's not really with the two of us because after that it was mostly what. But he's not with us anymore, so it's not worth talking about. So I don't know how much more we have to say about it. Really.
I think just like doing, I guess, a little bit of due diligence and saying that, and then saying obviously, what he's doing, what he did, and stuff is wrong, and we have no ties to him. It's not like a big deal for us to mention anything. Just what he did was wrong. We don't support it. That's basically it.
Yeah. Okay.
And if you wanted to, look, I did watch that whole ass Keemstar live stream. That shit went wild. All right. Like, if you want to just like listen to like 7 hours of just schizo nonsense, dude, that stream goes hard. There's parts where Seth just starts screaming like an anime villain. Oh my god, it's so crazy. I love it. I listened to it in 2 times speed so that I could not spend 7 hours of my life. I instead spent like 3.5. But that shit went hard.
So yeah, you guys can talk about the Reddit. I do not care until we get something that's actually not a year old. So or posted by bot.
I mean, I'm fine with not.
Yeah, all I want to say is the iceberg is cool.
I didn't think that stuff was.
I just wanted to mention the iceberg because my man's put all this effort into making it, and it's like we're like, oh, I don't care.
The Spoon affiliation has been confirmed.
Oh my god, grow up.
Those who are in with that, do with that what
grow
you will.
Grow up. Dot needs help. Okay, no one is his biggest op except him.
Now I have to mention it. That Spoon said he loves Suzaku.
Well, you know what?
Suzaku's the biggest op. Spoon says that he loves Suzaku, and then you say you like Spoon, who likes Suzaku, even though you said you hated
so
Suzaku
by the transitive
before.
property, now I like Suzaku too. Huh?
Yeah,
that's how
you were clearly lying.
Yeah, you got me there, I guess. Fuck.
I don't
Imagine.
just accept it, you coward.
Classic Lelouch play. I watch Code Geass, dude.
Yeah, this guy fucking got me. He dark triaded me.
All right.
Can you believe it?
The topic is, I remember it's fucking God.
Favorites of 2022.
You'll get there.
I knew it. I knew. Did see none fucking stealing
The
my topic.
all-timers.
Fuck you. I'm not going first because I did a whole ass fucking thread so I kept up with if you follow me on Twitter, which literally all I did last year was finish media and tweet about it. Like, I wasn't on YouTube, I wasn't on anywhere else, like, and the only tweets, so yeah, it was just Twitter. And then at the end of the year I did like another thread where I basically used the tweets from that thread and did like a favorites thread. So you can also just look through. I will talk about some stuff, but I'm just saying that if you want to see more favorites, because I divided it by like the type of media. So like, I mean, my favorite comic was literally the only comic I read, but I did try to like I included some like least favorites if there was something I actually disliked, and some runner-ups and honorary mentions and stuff. So yeah, worth giving it a look if you want to see my favorites. But I want to hear about you guys because obviously part of the reason we're doing this is because
I'll go first.
You guys won't be able to talk or weren't able to talk about some of your stuff that you went through last year. But
yeah. I don't know how many I have to talk about, and I can talk about a bunch condensed or a couple longer. But the first one I'll just go for because I don't think I guess this new era of me hasn't been on the Weeb Club yet, and it should be said that so I reread all of One Piece last year, right? Like the whole thing, including Wano from the beginning, and it just has to be said, Wano's just the best arc in that fucking manga. Everyone's dumb. Wano's the fucking GOAT. Like, that shit goes so crazy hard. And I didn't get to talk about it on the Weeb Club because it was after that I read it all. But, yeah. I had some bad One Piece takes in the past still. But now I'm the smartest I've ever seen.
Dressrosa's in your top 5 now? Are you truly smart?
Is what my top 5?
Dressrosa?
Yeah, definitely. It goes too hard.
You.
Luffy breaking the strings is like one of the best parts of the manga.
Look, aside from Punk Hazard, which I still think is good, like every New World arc, and Zoe doesn't count. It's like
Zoe's not a real arc, yeah.
It's fuck off. But like every fucking New World arc has fucking hit hard as shit. So And I'm also rereading Wano for the Nen show. I still have like I just stopped at chapter 1000 the other day, or no, yesterday. Fuck, and then I decided. Fucking Wano has got me back on my One Piece kick, and I'm literally just fucking getting emotional just thinking about it. And like I literally read chapter 1000, and then I decided, because I was like, people said the adaptation of this episode was really fucking good. I'm gonna watch it. It was really fucking good.
Is that 10:15?
10:15.
Yeah, that shit makes me cry like a bitch, dude. That part where it's like the little montage of all the emotional moments in Wano leading up to that.
The way they use like the first person perspective in
yeah.
The extra scene with Yamato, like, because in the manga he's just like, oh, the beaver card's gone, I just vanished one day. But then in the anime they add a whole scene where Yamato like watches it burn away, and Kaido what? And the way they layered like the Luffy and Roger saying the fucking thing that we don't know what.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
Yeah.
It's not fair.
And that thing that we don't know now, seeing it later after the moment that had post Wano makes even watching it in Wano. Ooh, that shit goes hard. I agree.
God. I need to watch because I watched 957, which was adapting like the one between Act 2 and 3, which was also by the same director. But I need to watch the one in between those two episodes that they did. Because the one where I think the Straw Hats reunite, or they fight on the ocean, it was right before they go to Onigashima. I need to watch that one because this director fucking fucks. But yeah, Wano is really good, and I literally like yesterday. My plan was just to read the own flashback. I don't record the Nen show for like another few days, and I was gonna read the rest of the before chapter 1000. Like in a day or two, and I literally couldn't stop. I literally just like I put it down, and I'm like, I'll read another chapter, read a couple more chapters, put it down, I'll read another chapter. I can't. And I'm so excited to get to rereading the rest of it, because holy shit, I know because I've already read it weekly, and I know what's coming up, and God, one is good. For a full discussion, the Nen Show podcast. I don't know. Sorry, people know about it. Whatever.
But yeah, I was surprised because I was, I would say I wasn't a Wano hater. I was probably, I think I was respectable enough to have the take of like, I know I need to reread this, so I'm not going to say it's bad. But as far as I'm concerned, everyone else is a Wano hater, because if you don't have it as your GOAT arc, you just like are being a hater and are wrong. And that's like on God. You know what I mean?
I mean, my stance right now is if I still like Whole Cake Island better than it, that's because like Whole Cake Island deals specifically in like, found family shit, which I really like. But I can, I don't know.
Luffy Kaido go
really good.
The food stuff. It's just so goated. It's so good. I love it.
Joy Boy, the way that factors into Luffy and Kaido, like smile and sad versus like how Luffy operates, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah. It's so good.
I'm so excited to get to that. The fucking rest of Luffy versus Kaido. Oh god. All right. Anyway,
honestly,
what else?
I feel like One Piece is low-key one of the most consistent series of just all time. Thinking about it, because like
I don't even know if it low-key is. Like I think it kind of high-key is. Yeah,
I feel like One Piece, like even in what I've read. I mean, I've read most of it. I just haven't read like Wano yet. There's never been a point where like a significant stretch where I just thought it was like not good, or like I wasn't into it. Like even with like Naruto, which is my favorite series of all time, there were points in my history where I was very cringe and very wrong and thinking like, oh, this isn't as good as like I used to think that the war, or like Naruto versus Sasuke 2 specifically, I thought Naruto versus Sasuke 1 was better than Naruto versus Sasuke 2. That was a take that I had at one point in time. But with One Piece, I've literally never like been down on it like ever. And that was even through watching like the anime. Like I just think One Piece is like insanely consistent, and like I feel like you have to have like a special type of stupid to think that One Piece is ever like notably bad at points. One Piece is really good. Like I'm looking forward to rereading the whole thing and finally seeing Wano in full.
I'm probably not going to reread it until literally after it's done, because my plan is I'm going to watch it in a couple of years after I take care of, like, because I still have, like, the anime rewatch and manga reread and all that shit. But I do want to watch it in full, which I've literally, I think I haven't even watched, like, half of it anymore. Because I used to be caught up and have at a point long ago I'd watched all of it, but now it's like, nope, and that was years ago. So yeah, One Piece good.
You have no proof.
All right, what else did you do last year?
Should I go again? Should none go?
I thought we were just gonna do one at a time per person.
Okay, I didn't know. I thought you were just gonna do all your things and then all right, go ahead.
All right, well, I'm gonna go with Sonic Frontiers first. Even though I said like we're doing a favorites thing, it's not quite favorites for me on my list. Like, not everything's literally a favorite, but it's like notable things.
Well, I mean, I thought it was also like just notable things that you probably won't be able to
specifically
talk about,
want to talk about. Yeah.
But so this is our opportunity now. Yeah.
So Frontiers is like, I'm super into Sonic Frontiers more than like I thought even when I finished the game. Like, it's one of the Sonic games that I actually still open up and just run around for a bit in, which is, like, not something that I really do for most Sonic games, I would say. But, like, I feel like the way that the game is just, like, it definitely does give, like, a sense of, like, this is very close to what I probably want Sonic games to mostly be, somewhat. Just because I realized I do really like the, I really value the hub worlds in Sonic games more than I thought I did. Just because, like, I think since Adventure 1 right now is my favorite Sonic game, I'm sorry, Vindy. It's just really good. I know you think that's cringe because you said it at some point.
Maybe if I hadn't played Adventure 1 2 years ago, I would be able to say more. Other than, I don't know, I mean, I think... You literally have to sit there and fish. How can it be the best one? The game forces you to fucking fish. Hello?
Okay, it takes like 30 minutes for the whole big story.
Just like it takes 30 minutes to get like one fish on the hook or longer when you're fishing in real life. Fishing is the most boring shit in the world. Do not.
Okay, kid.
Be like, but it's fine. No, it's terrible. And you get fucking Big to get froggy. I hate Big. Terrible.
I know you want to suck Big's toes.
Dude.
Well, his big toe is one
right
toe.
Off of him.
Sonic podcast on Suicide Watch.
But yeah, I really value the hub worlds in Sonic games just because it's like, I do think I value just like the I kind of like the aesthetic of Sonic games, I think, a lot, like more than I thought I do, of just kind of like being able to run around and look at cool shit. And I think even though Frontiers like visually isn't like as good as Adventure, like it looks very nice. It's just like the style of it. I still get a lot out of just like literally just running around and doing nothing and thinking about nothing, like just empty shit. Like when I have nothing to do, I just open up and run around. And I think what I like a lot about Frontiers is really just like what it does for the entire cast. Like it goes out of its way to try to address literally all the stuff that they've been doing up until current day. Like it's very self-aware about like the criticisms people have against Tails or Knuckles or Amy, and that's literally what their arc is built around in the game. Tails in particular is the most obvious one, where he just like like he literally says, "Oh, I've been so inconsistent." How could, like, he mentions being able to save Station Square or whatever, or no, Sonic mentions that he does that. But Tails also like mentions like how he cowered against Infinite, like, which was literally, you know, the last game Forces. And I kind of like how it does it in a way where it's like it's not trying to make it so that the things that people don't like didn't happen, because it's like you can't really just ignore that literally just happened in the last game. But I like how Sonic like encourages Tails of like he's growing up, so these things happen. And like he's still managed great things, and he's always been supporting him all this time. And you know, the fact that Tails is now like super aware of like how he's been, and like he's gonna try to change right now because you know, he knows that he has the strength inside of him to change because he's done great things in the past. And like I think that was like really cool. And like generally I think Sonic's interactions with like Tails, Knuckles, and Amy were pretty good. And I think that was something that Frontiers, like, one of the best things that it did. I don't think that it's like perfect. Like, I don't think everyone is exactly how I want them to be. But it's one of those things where it's like, I want more of this. I want to see what they're going to do. And I really, really like the final boss of Frontiers. Like, gameplay wise, it's not really like anything like special, but like just like the music and the moment of like what's actually happening, it's literally like such an insane twist, I feel like. And like the boss is definitely one of those things where it's like, this sounds so cringe to be like, but this is like what it makes me think of. It's like how Persona games handle like the true final boss. Yeah. It's literally like putting that into a Sonic game, and like it just gives me goosebumps like thinking about like the shit that the boss is saying to you and like fighting against him. Like, it's just so fucking cool. Like, it's one of the coolest final bosses in a Sonic game. Not the best one, because like, you know, gameplay wise I think it's lacking, but it's definitely like one of the most memorable to me. And generally, aside from the final boss, the like boss fights in Frontiers are like just the best in the series, and like the best at showing like how powerful Super Sonic is. Do you like the game a lot?
The most exciting thing I've heard about the game to me is just continuing to hear all the time, like how good the music is, right? Like every video I watched of the game, like when it came out, was like, oh yeah, the music goes giga hard. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna listen to any music for the game because I'm excited to eventually play it. And it's like, that shit goes so crazy, you know? Yeah, I love good Sonic music. So
if there's like if there's minor things that I will say is like, all like literally everything that I thought could be wrong with the game and could be something I don't like about the game is just true after playing the game. Like I like almost everything that I observed as something I wouldn't like, I don't like, but what I like does outweigh what I don't like by quite a bit. And I'm very biased for Sonic, so like, you know, I like it. I appreciate it.
Neat.
Craftsdwarf, your turn.
Okay. All right. So, last year, I went through, I'm saying, good shit. I'm talking life-changing. Holy fuck. Media of the fucking year. That's right.
Visual novels are bad.
Mario Brothers the movie. Let's fucking go. It's fucking like it's tapping into Italian heritage I don't even have. I'm gonna do a shitty Italian accent now. Nobody understands this movie. It's perfect. Shit. Where was I going with this bit? Hold on. What am I doing with my life? Stupid fucking movie.
It's good.
I don't know. It's just very absurd. No, it's not one of my favorite things of the year. I just like pretending that it is because, I mean, it was very funny. Like, I was losing my mind watching it, because, like, it's like they played Mario and they were like, yeah, we're gonna do, like, Mad Max meets, like, Blade Runner, isekai, and...
Yeah, I think it's super insane. Just like the stuff that people came up with for old games is like so out there.
Like, having seen both of the Mario movies that are available, because there was also an anime film that came out a few years before. Like, literally, like I think the only Mario games that had been out at that point were Mario and Lost Levels. And it's just like it's kind of like one of those fucking mid-ass shonen filler movies where it's like it's like the Great Mission to Rescue Princess Peach, and it just like it just happens. Like they go to rescue Peach and they gotta get the star, the mushroom, and the flower, and then they're just like there's musical bits, and it's just there's a wizard who gives them their mission, and he gives them like a pet dog, and the dog at the end of the movie, the pet dog turns into a handsome prince, and it turns out that he and Peach are betrothed. So Mario gets cucked in the Japanese Mario movie.
Wait, what? Wait, repeat that?
No, this is the anime.
That.
This is the anime film, the Mission the Great. So
yeah, I know that, but what happened?
Oh, the wizard gave the Mario and Luigi a dog companion to help them out, and it was a prince that was transformed into a dog. And when they beat Bowser, he transformed back into the handsome prince, and Peach was with the prince, and she like gave Mario a kiss, but then she fucked off with the prince, so Mario got cucked basically. Yeah, that's an actual real thing that happens. But in the live action Mario movie, there's Big Bertha, who's like this fucking big black lady who like she robs them of the plot artifact early on in the movie, and then like later when they go into like a fucking dance club thing to get it, Mario asks for it back. She punches him in the face, and he goes back to her and is like, "Yeah, I like that. Let's dance." And like he wins her heart, and he like pickpockets the artifact off her while they dance. And then when he escapes, she's like visibly heartbroken. And then when action breaks out, she like helps him out, and it's like, it's so funny. Why is this movie like this? Oh god. Fucking King Koopa is the silliest man. He's introduced like because there's a fungus all over the town. The city is just covered in fungus because he de-evolved the Mushroom King, and he literally became a mushroom. And since he hates the fungus, he's constantly like disinfecting himself. And so he's introduced like giving his hands like a mud bath, and so he's like getting angry about the plumbers who have the plot artifact that he's looking for. And he like lifts up his hands, and they're covered with mud, so they're like round Mickey Mouse hands. But he's like angry, and I'm like, what? What is? I don't know. What do you even remember about the fucking Mario movie, Nun? When was the last time you saw it?
I just remember random scenes because I literally saw it like 5 years ago or something, maybe more.
Okay, because
I didn't even see all of it. I just randomly saw it like airing on TV, so I was watching part of it while doing something else.
Yeah, apparently the creatives team behind, so like some tidbits about the production of the movie is basically their idea with the concept of the movie was like they want something that like hypothetically if a Japanese game developer saw this, they would like make the original, like the idea was like a sort of like this is what the game was based on, even though obviously it's in reverse. Like that was their mindset going in. Hopkins, the actor for Mario, was drunk through most of the movie because he fucking hated the two directors who were like a husband-wife pair, and they were fucking like stupid as shit, I guess, and just really arrogant, I guess, and but fucking I don't know, but funny.
I just remember random scenes of like whatchamacallit, what the Goombas looked like when they were like in an elevator or something. And them having the like bouncy boots to jump super high.
Yeah.
There was some like web scene with like disgusting looking webs that I kind of vaguely remember.
So like that's the whole thing with
okay.
the king is like he's literally like helping them. He's kind of like an in-universe explained Deus Ex Machina kind of thing, helping him out in certain situations, and like they use the phrase like trust the fungus when they start like calling on it deliberately.
That goes hard. That's all I'm saying. Anytime now I eat a mushroom in a Mario game, dude, I'm trusting the fungus.
Oh god. Vindy, did you go to take a shit before or after I started talking about Mario?
The second you did, I was gonna wait till my next turn to go, but it was like bubbling, and like I had a couple close calls where I legitimately almost just shit my pants, and so I was like, oh, I gotta go. Shit. Like, I was sitting here, and I was like, let me see how long I can... Well, it literally was in the span of, like, 10 minutes. I went from, I can wait till the end of the episode, to, okay, I'm going to have to hurry after my next... Like, after Crafts goes, then I go. But then it was like, I had two close calls, or it was like, oh, I almost just fucking let loose. So I had to just go.
Let me know that Vindy would not shit his pants for the podcast. He's, no. His dedication only goes so far.
There's no shot. Yeah. I wish I was that man. Shit his pants for content. Oh, is it my turn now?
Yep.
Okay. I'll give y'all the choice for which one I talk about. Do I talk about Turnip Boy commits tax evasion? The greatest game of all time, or do I talk about like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul like a fucking loser?
Turnip Boy.
I like it.
Craftsdwarf knew instantly.
So I played a game last year called Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. Shit goes fucking hard. I was not expecting the game to be like as fun as it was and like as good as it was and as silly as it was. Like I knew it would be silly because it's called Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion, but like I didn't realize that meant that I was gonna be playing a fucking sociopath. I don't even know how else to explain it like other than that. But like, yeah, that shit was crazy. Turnip Boy literally is mentally ill in like the best way. And the music was great. Like the entire game, I don't know. It goes hard. I don't normally play, so it's like it's an indie game, obviously, and it's like a top-down, like kind of like Zelda-like, and that's not normally a genre I play a lot of, like those top-down adventure games. Mm-hmm. But I really liked Turnip Boy. That shit was like super good. It's short too. It's like 2 hours, 3 hours. Like I played it in like one sitting, like not even realizing it was like that short. I was just like it was on Game Pass, and I installed it. I was like, oh, maybe I'll play it for a little bit, and I just like played it in one sitting. Because like that, the game's short enough you can easily play it in one sitting, and it's super fun and like funny, and the music is great. And I mean, you're a little turnip boy committing tax evasion and fighting Mayor Onion. And like the reason, I guess, to explain at the start why he's committing tax evasion, if you hand Turnip Boy something to read, he just rips it in half. So he commits tax evasion because they hand him his taxes and he just rips it in half. But like, that joke gets stretched as far as it possibly can while still being funny. Because like, at first it's like they hand him anything for him to read, he rips it. But then it's just any paper he's near, he's ripping. So he's ripping papers that like, and like you press the button to rip the paper, you start ripping shit that like doesn't even belong to you. Like it'll be an important paper to someone else, and then just hand it to Turnip Boy for a second, and he's just like, "Hey, me and this shit on site," and he just starts ripping it. I love it. It's so funny. And like the gameplay is like really nothing, but it doesn't matter because you're playing it for the funny writing, and it's called Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of self-explanatory that it goes hard. I played a couple months ago, so it's hard for me to like exactly remember every little thing I want to say about it, but like I really do stand by like that game is really good. I think it's still like on Game Pass. If not, like it's cheap. It's on the Switch. I recommend if you ever see it, just fucking snag
it is tax
play
season. It's the time of year to play it.
It is. That is true. It also is a game that I could see like it definitely vibe check fits with like spring. So it definitely is like a good time of the year to play it. I recommend it. That game's really fun and super cool.
Based and Pogger. It's my turn now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So one of my favorite things that I watched last year was a K-drama, which I wasn't setting out to watch like K-drama specifically or anything, but I was trying to watch like romance movies. I was doing one a week, but it got derailed because I became a Terraria addict and I was roped into a VC and it broke the flow of me doing my romance movie shit. So I never really like got back on it. I think I watched like 5 or something. I wanted to do it for like at least a week or whatever, but I don't think I did that. But Always was definitely like the best of the ones that I did manage to watch, at least until I get back to doing that. It's basically a movie that's about like an ex-boxer who he was basically kind of like a delinquent in the past, like kind of a shitty person, and he was doing like he basically did a lot of things that he regretted. I don't want to like say specifically what he did, but it was just a lot of like shitty behavior, so he kind of like has repressed himself, and he's not really actually living his life in like a fulfilling way now. He's not obviously, I just said he's an ex-boxer. He's not boxing anymore. And he's just like kind of, I don't even remember where he works. Oh yeah, he works at like a, those places that put up the, when like cars are passing through and there's like one of those toll booths or whatever, like with the red and white stripe thing that goes up and down to let cars through. He just sits in there. And that's pretty much all he's doing. But he meets this like blind girl who like during his job, and it's essentially just like a romance story between him and her, and like they both like they both have reasons that they essentially kind of hate themselves, and it's kind of like through their love and through being together, they're kind of like slowly somewhat forgiving themselves and kind of like becoming better as people. And his shit in the movie, like when he becomes a boxer again, for the sake of like kind of earning more money so that they can like live together and like have a good life, because you know the blind girl, she's having difficulties at her job because of some shitty situation that's happening there. Don't want to spoil that. And it's just really good. Like the last like third of the movie or so, when shit's really going wrong, and there's a lot of like reveals of like, this is very specifically what this guy did in the past, and it's just like, and it I don't even know if I could say that. That's a little too, yeah, I don't want to say that, but what he specifically did in the past and how it ties to him now is like literally insane. And I just like the movie a lot. Like it's definitely a very touching story, and I think some of the ways in which it handles like the whatchamacallit, the disability that the main girl has, it's kind of like a Silent Voice a little bit. Like I feel like if people who watch a Silent Voice likes a Silent Voice, they would like this movie. And like I think one of the best things about the movie is like the lengths of which that this guy goes to try to get the money to cure the blindness of the girl that he's with, and like he basically ends up like really fucking himself up because of doing that. And there's like a lot of emotional things there, because like he obviously isn't caring about himself because he feels obligated to cure her blindness and like make up for the things that he's done in the past. And like I super would recommend the movie. I don't even know if I said the name of the movie, but it's called Always. There's another movie called Always, but it's Always, and this one came out 2011, so you could just search like Always 2011. But yeah, it's a really good movie. Definitely one of my favorites from last year.
Nice. Also, are you finished?
Yeah, I'm done.
I don't think you had to explain which Always you were talking about, considering you were talking about a Korean drama, and if I see a 1989 Steven Spielberg movie starring Richard Dreyfuss, I'm going to assume that is not something none would consider a Korean movie.
That guy's the ex-boxer.
Yeah, I'll be like, I'd watch the whole thing and be like, man, you know, that was really good, but why did they make that in Korea?
So anyway, going on. So the joke for those in the know is that I was building up to talk, because my actual favorite thing last year was Mud Love. I do want to talk about that, but I don't know. I need to regather my thoughts because it's so fucking good. So I'll just put it off for now.
Sad.
So, but my second favorite thing that I went through last year, I rewatched Violet Evergarden, which I liked before. I watched it shortly after it finished, I think. But this time I watched it there because there was like an extra OVA episode. There was like one movie that's like just happens during the show, and then there was the finale movie. And so I basically just watched all of it, and I am a fool for not realizing that how much of a Craftsdwarf anime it is, because you got a little dumb girl who doesn't understand how to emotion, and the whole story is her figuring out how to emotion, and like, you know, deciding her place in the world after, you know, her prior purpose is gone, overcoming loss. And I'm like, this is the Craftsdwarf. This is just a giant Craftsdwarf anime. Like, holy shit. And the fucking, it's, you know, I cried a bunch. Especially, you know, the big episodes, sad episodes are the one with the stage writer, the playwright, who his daughter is passed away, and Violet kind of helps him get through his writer's block with that and deal with that loss, and that hurts. Then the actual episode that fucking ruins me is the one towards the end of the show where there's like a little girl, and it's from her perspective, and Violet comes in, and she's spending time with her literally sick and dying mother, and she wants to spend more time with her mother, but this strange lady is taking away that time because she knows something's wrong, even though she's little. And then it turned, God fucking damn. The show is evil. It hurts me.
The E word, huh?
Wait, have you guys seen it? Because I've been kind of like touchy about it.
No, I haven't seen it.
You should change that. It's not very long.
Yeah, probably. I was thinking as you were talking, I was like, man, when was the last time I watched a fucking KyoAni show? No, specifically KyoAni. And it was like, man, I don't think... So I was trying to think, I was like, did we watch a KyoAni show for the Weeb Club? And I didn't watch Hyoka.
That's probably your last one.
I didn't watch it, though. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think I've watched a show... I'm such a fake anime fan nowadays. I literally don't think I've watched a show by Kyoto Animation in like 6 years. 7 years. No, 6 years would be what? 2020 or 2017? Yeah, that might be right. Maybe 5 years. Maybe 2018 was the last time I watched a KyoAni show. That's on fucking God.
You literally watched Tamako Market for the week.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Even though Nun literally just said it, you hate him.
Yeah, I just said that.
I couldn't hear you. I thought you said Hyoka. I said Hyoka,
kid.
then I heard that was your last one. I didn't hear Tamako Market. Grow up.
Okay, dude.
Because, yeah, now that you mentioned other KyoAni shows, I did rewatch K-On! And it is also very fucking good, but I think Violet Evergarden is currently my favorite KyoAni show. So, which I think makes sense because I love K-On! It's very fucking wholesome and cute and insanely funny, and the fucking last school festival episode, and it fucking ruined me emotionally. But I don't know, Violet Evergarden is just like, they made a show to kill me, like, so it's like, that's just how it be. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't know the Hyoka episode came out after the Tamako Market one.
Oh, because those motherfuckers didn't watch the show.
Oh yeah, you didn't watch it. Oh yeah. When we did that.
It's like Vindy didn't rewatch it, and
did I not rewatch it as well?
I probably because I
think
we
so.
literally recorded it months after I watched it because y'all fuckers didn't watch the show, or didn't.
Yeah, I definitely didn't rewatch it. Actually, that's wow.
I guess so. I think it would have been who watched the show last months after I watched it. So in that case, or we just decided, fuck it, let's record it. And I, when we could have done that months before then, when I had just watched the show. So I'm not mad. Go ahead, Vindy.
All right. So am I doing my last 2 weeks backlog? I guess now.
You don't have more favorites from 2022?
Do I?
Let's do one more.
I still have more.
I guess I could come up with something. I could talk about Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, I guess.
I have 3 more that I want to do, so don't snub me, Craftsdwarf.
Okay, I mean, that's fine. I mean, if this is Vinny's last one, you can just do your last 3, and then I can do anything else I want to quickly talk about. Because honestly, I have a dozen things that I could talk about, but I'm probably just going to stagger them out throughout the regular weekly. Maybe I'll do one old thing and one new thing or something for future episodes, but whatever. Go ahead, Vindy. Sorry.
Yeah. So I watched Breaking Bad last year. Technically, rewatched most of it, and then I think rewatched all. I don't remember actually when I watched it originally. I know I was on season 5. I don't know if I finished the show or not.
From what you told me, you said you had not finished the show, but you'd heard enough about what happened that you.
Yeah, that sounds right. It honestly just reached the point where it's I didn't. And especially with all the memes and everything of Breaking Bad, it's I'd seen a lot of the last few episodes already. But yeah, so I watched, the show, and then I watched Better Call Saul, and that shit is so good. And I'm not gonna sit here and talk about how Breaking Bad is good, because everyone knows that Breaking Bad is really good show. People will go, oh, it's the greatest show of all time. I don't know about that, but it's good. You know what I mean? It goes hard. And I think everyone gets that and knows that, so I don't think, it's really that wild to say. But I don't know. I mean, it's just good. And Better Call Saul, it finished, and so I haven't seen season 6 because it's not on Netflix, and so, I haven't seen it because I don't have access to it. And I mean, I guess I could pirate it or something, but I'll just wait because, I don't want to deal with all that shit. So because I haven't seen it, I guess I can't speak to the show as a whole, but the first 5 seasons of that show are really fucking good. And I think it maybe is a little bit of a slow start, but it also is like really different from Breaking Bad, just in the sense that like you as an audience member like Jimmy way more than you like Walter, right? Like Breaking Bad pretty quickly I think makes it clear like, hey, Walter's like a bad guy. Like he's kind of just like in general he's just a fucking dick. Even like
it's in the title of the show.
Well, no. I'm not even talking about like, you know, him being like a terrible person, like blowing up nursing homes and shit. You know what I mean? Like he's also just a dick.
Yeah.
And so, you know, that's part of the show and it works for the show and it's really good. But it's really nice and also a lot harder in some ways to watch a show where it's like, man, this is like a really nice, like good guy. Like I love this guy. And then it's just like as it goes. And because of that, it takes a lot longer for it to like really set in how like he's falling. But like the end of like season 4 kind of hits it. And then season 5 and I'm sure season 6 will, where it's like it takes him a lot longer to reach that point where it's like, man, how did we get here? And like, you know how he got here because you're watching it. So like I feel like it handles a similar thing to Breaking Bad, but it does it at a different pace in a different way, right? As opposed to starting with like, you know, very early on, you know, he's killing people and like, you know, people will relate or empathize with him because it's like, you know, they can see that, you know, he has a family and stuff, but I don't think it's the same as, you know, what you get with Better Call Saul, where a lot of it's like Jimmy is just a nice guy. And like you want to see him, you want to root for him, and I don't know. It's like I definitely feel like Better Call Saul for me had that moment of like looking back at this, like, you know, where Jimmy started and where he is now, and really like lamenting that this is what's happened. You know what I mean? Like, which is what the show wants. But that was good. And then the other thing I just have to mention about the show is that like I fucking love the way Better Call Saul is shot. Some of the fucking shots and like camera angles in that show go so crazy. I like can't handle it. It's so fucking good. And like that's like my favorite part just like of watching the show, like the experience of watching it is just like every episode there's a couple like shots that are just like bonkers, you know?
I see.
So, and I feel like that's one thing that I don't hear people talk about as much. Like people talk about like the look, especially of Breaking Bad, because it is really unique, especially with, like, you know, the yellow tint to Mexico and a lot of the other like the Western like influences that are all over Breaking Bad and everything like that. But like Better Call Saul, I feel like is way better shot on it. Like it's crazy.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what I have to say.
So was that your last thing, or do you want to like? I'm just wondering how many times we're gonna go around.
See, I don't know what else to say.
Or no,
I don't...
more things to talk about. Sorry, not about the show. Like other.
That's what I know.
Yeah.
I know. I was gonna say,
okay.
I don't think I really have much else. Like I want to say. I'm also just having a hard time. Yeah, none. You can go.
Yeah, you just
do you want me to just do my last 3? Or...
Yes, that's what I was gonna get at. Yeah, and I'll do my last handful.
So I played a lot of Terraria last year, like a fuckload of it. Like I have over 100 hours in the game, and I liked it way more than I thought I would. Cause like I think the coolest thing about Terraria is like if you've played Minecraft, it's like instead of focusing on like the crafting aspect being like the crafting and the building aspect, I feel like Terraria is more so like there's more there for the like exploring and like the actual like almost even like the combat part of it, which is like kind of weird and interesting and different because like there's so many bosses in the game that like I feel like you focus more on exploring and trying to find new items and like cool things. And I think that's really like unique. Like I think Terraria is Minecraft, but more like goal oriented, where like you're not necessarily like I get the appeal of Minecraft is in part that like you're always making what your goal is. Like I know there is like you can ultimately defeat the Ender Dragon, but that's so far off that where like most of the things you're doing is always like your own goal of like, oh, I now I need to mine for stone, and now I need to get iron. I need to make a farm now and all that. But like Terraria, there's always like the next boss you have to fight and the next kind of event you have to do, like that you have to deal with or something. And I think that was like really cool, and I really like that about Terraria. I also really liked that there's just like NPCs in the game in general that are like actual NPCs and not like villagers that just say I think kind of building out homes for the NPCs and kind of having to earn them over the course of the game kind of makes them cool and kind of makes you like, well, it made me kind of care about them. I'm sure the average Terraria player honestly does not give a shit about the NPCs. And I think part of me caring about the NPCs was like playing co-op and like having inside jokes about the NPCs. Like if I was playing by myself, I don't think I would actually care about them. But aside from Brett, if real ones know who Brett is. But yeah, Terraria is really cool and good. It's been a while since I've like been knee deep into playing it, so it's like I can't think of like a lot of specific experiences with it, but I had a lot of fun playing it and it sunk a lot of time into it. I think that I think some of the boss fights are like actually really good. Like one of them had me like losing my shit. I forget what it's called. It's the one in the one that you fight in the hollow, that like queen bee. I don't think it's a bee. It's not a bee. It's like a fairy flying around thing. It does a lot of crazy stuff. But yeah, Terraria is really good. It's probably like maybe a borderline favorite game. I'd have to think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. You guys are really cringe when you tried to play it on stream.
What do you mean? How were we cringe?
You guys were cringe men who gave up.
I think we
too
pretty
quickly.
immediately didn't even like say anything bad about the game, or just like, we don't know this game, we don't know what's going on, and we don't want to sit here and figure it out, so we're gonna do something else.
Cringe men.
Just like understandable. Honestly, kind of based.
Next thing I want to talk about is also a game, and I'm sure Craftsdwarf will mention it at some point, but I'll mention it briefly since Craftsdwarf might mention it at some point. There's also probably going to be a separate podcast about it. Pokemon Violet. Definitely a very notable thing that I played last year. I liked it a lot. I think Pokemon Violet gives me some of the feelings that Sun and Moon gave me when I first played that. Of just kind of being like, yeah, this feels like the next step of like what I want out of Pokemon specifically. Like I don't think Pokemon Violet is like what literally everybody wants from the next step of Pokemon, but it's like it has like aspects that I specifically care about in Pokemon. I kind of talked about this a little bit with Craftsdwarf and like I think episodes that haven't come out of just like, since Pokemon has so many different ways to enjoy it, there's so many different aspects that like certain games do better than others. Like I think Pokemon Violet, Scarlet and Violet, the exploration and the catching is what they really excel at. And aside from Legends Arceus, which I haven't played, so I can't count it in this, it has the best exploration and catching. Even if like there are some things that I think other games do better, of like, you know, Black and White has the better story, I would say. In Sun and Moon, I also like that story better. But it having like the best exploration and catching, it's like a very notable Pokemon game, and like I can super see why Scarlet and Violet would be someone's favorite if those two things specifically are like their favorite thing about Pokemon, because it does those two things so well. It's the most I've ever been into catching, and like even though I didn't go for like completing the Pokedex yet, I have a pretty sizable Pokedex just from playing the game, and that's super cool. I think Scarlet and Violet, even though I said it doesn't have like, you know, the best story or whatever, it does have a good story. Like I think it's pretty well handled. It's probably one of the better jobs they've done of like having the story still be good even though you're taking it at your own pace. Like even though it's so open, you can go anywhere, it still manages to like have a story that ties together. And like the main group of the game is like really good, and I really hope Pokemon keeps it up with like that kind of main group, because Sun and Moon has that kind of group that I think works well together. Scarlet and Violet, the one thing I'll say is better about that group than like Sun and Moon's group is like, I think the friendship, like specifically like characters like becoming friends and like actually being like, yeah, these characters hang out even after the game is over, is really like well felt.
Look,
Yeah,
when
it's
you
super,
go
like, the
to-
interactions through the,
sorry.
like, end of the game are super great. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah, no,
Kristen.
I was gonna bring that up where it's like we go into the last area and they're like arguing about who's the better friend to the main character. Like it's adorable.
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
sorry.
I love them, like the fact
Well,
that,
'cause,
like,
like,
while
yeah,
you're
or-
exploring, they're talking.
I
It's
see,
so cool.
I need to play the game is what you're getting at.
Yeah,
Yes!
it's a great game. It's literally, it is.
I'm sorry. I've been addicted to a better Pokemon game.
What is that?
I actually know what you've been.
We'll
talking
talk
or-
about it when we
yeah.
get to the
Well,
when we get to the
you
weekly
mentioned it
roundup. 'Cause
once.
I'm talking about it.
And I and I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And I Google it and I found out and I was like,
I've been fucking
see.
addicted. I've played like 20 hours of it in the last like week and a half. We'll get to it.
anyway, keep going, man. Keep going.
Now I lost my train of thought a little bit, but it's a very good game. I liked it a lot. I really want to replay it because I can only see myself enjoying it more after I play it one more time. But yeah, it was really good. I was like really impressed with it.
Real quick to sort of step in with my short version of because I played Pokemon Scarlet and it was my second favorite game of the year. Barely edging out over Elden Ring, which is also fucking phenomenal, and both being under Muv-Luv because fucking Muv-Luv. But anyway, I guess my short version of Pokemon is like exploring it. Like I don't think I've ever actually let myself just go into a Pokemon game blind because like during like Gen 6 and 7 I was on 4chan a lot, so I was there were other people playing games and talking about them with Gen 5 through even 1, like my mom got strategy guides, so it's like I just had the whole game right in front of me before I even fucking touched it. And even when we didn't, I was on the internet. Like I knew about fucking Arceus and Shaman and Darkrai before I even touched Diamond or Pearl because Sarah B had looked at the game data and was like, oh, look at these mythical Pokemon, so Scarlet and Violet, I deliberately went on myself not to spoil myself, and it led to a fucking really cool experience. And the way the final boss works, where they're using Pokemon you like literally can't have seen before and don't know the types of necessarily, like added a layer to the final fight that I thought was really good. I really like the group of characters that friends, and like there was some personal stuff that hit me specifically that wouldn't have hit me unless I played Scarlet, which I thought was interesting. And I had a very good time with the game. But anyway, go ahead and do your last thing.
Well, my last thing is possibly number one, like my favorite of last year in general overall. Definitely has my favorite character of last year in it. And that's Angel Beats, specifically the VN, but I did also rewatch the anime. I read the prequel light novel. Obviously watched the OVAs. I wanted to kind of do like a thorough like go through of like the whole franchise and read like the 2 manga, or maybe 3. I forget how many there are. I didn't do that, but I'll probably do that at some point. Angel Beats is really good. I really like it. Specifically the visual novel, like it just goes so hard. And makes me like care about characters that I didn't care about before. Like the biggest jump up is it's technically Hinata because like he was never like one of the characters that was like specifically one of my favorites or anything, but now he's like a favorite character of mine. I really also liked the what's his name? Fuck, I can't remember what his name is right. Oh, Matsuhita Dan. The like his like he has a root in the visual novel. So, like essentially the visual novel is like it has 3 roots aside from like the general like common true ending root. Like the character, like there's 3 character roots. I played all of those. I really liked all of them. Specifically, the one that I loved the most was the Yui route. Not for Yui, because I like she's good, but like she's not notable as like someone that I really like. It was for Hinata specifically, because the smart thing that the VN does, since it's like it's made after the anime, is the Yui route. Even though it's about Yui and like you see Yui stuff, it has a lot of Hinata stuff. Like it's almost his route too. And like I love it completely like changes how I view Hinata, because like it's just shit that like I would not have known about him, and like just knowing that makes me absolutely love him. Like honestly, I'm probably just gonna go ahead and just spoil it, because like I don't actually think anybody's gonna go and play the visual novel, and I love Hinata so much. Dude,
I don't know how to
love
read.
Hinata.
I forgot how to read. I'm illiterate.
Like, the reason why Hinata is like so like outreaching toward Otonashi and like everyone else, and is like tries to be as helpful as possible, like the actual reason why he's like that is so good, that like I love Hinata so much. Like, he's one of the characters that like I see him and I want to be like him. Like, Hinata is so insanely good.
Dude, me and Ted Lasso.
Okay.
Sorry, I just been rewatching that show. That shit got to me. I was crying my eyes out yesterday watching that show. I'm sad when you said it had one of your favorite characters. I was hoping it was gonna be, what was his name? Fucking DK?
I mean, TK's
TK. That
he doesn't have his own route though, is the problem. Like, so originally Angel Beats, right? The visual novel, it was supposed to be multiple visual novels, but they only ended up doing one because they just never really got around to doing more than one. I know that after like the first one was made, Jun Maeda was having like some like health problems, so that is like speculated to be maybe why they didn't end up getting around to it. And there's like some other speculation, but because the visual novel like 2010 or 2011 or something like that.
Isn't that
all right? Never mind.
Interesting.
But I love Hinata so much. Like, I really feel like just saying the spoiler makes it so much easier to describe why I specifically love Hinata, that it's hard to talk about him without just like going for it, just fully going for why I love Hinata so much.
But you know it was none. You know that Angel Beats was an anime first.
Yeah,
like
I know, but
years,
like,
right? The visual
no. I know that. Well, I didn't know it was 2015. I got that year wrong. But
yeah, that's what
I know that it was out and it has part of like Hinata's backstory in it, but it doesn't have the part of it that like really like, oh my god, what? Like it's a very not complete look at like what his backstory actually is. Dude, I love Hinata, dude. I love Hinata. That like Hinata is why the visual novel is a favorite for me, cuz like it's still really good. Like all the routes are like really good. Like the Matsuhita Dan route, for a character that's like he was the most out of my radar of like any of the like some of like most of the characters, but like his route destroyed me. Like his route is he's like he's the really big guy who's like kind of a he's a martial artist.
Yeah,
he's not one of the characters with a notable design. He's definitely not someone you would remember.
I'd probably remember him, but like when I'm thinking of like I remember there's a dude who carried around a spear, but I don't remember him being.
He has a mini route, but
yeah, but I just don't remember this Dawn specifically. So.
Matsuhita Dawn.
Sorry, but anyway, or real quick, because I was gonna say, because I will hopefully get to it this year, because my plan is, because I did or since last year I've been rewatching my old videos, and I have about a dozen left or less, and leaving comments on them. And one of the ones I started to watch but realized I couldn't leave a comment on it was I did do a video where I discussed Angel Beats in part, and I was watching it and I'm like, shit, I don't remember enough about the show to like respond to this video, so I'm gonna have to rewatch the show, and then probably play the visual novel, because why the fuck not?
It's a really short visual novel too. Like
no, I was interested. I didn't know about it honestly until you tweeted about it on, I think, in your media.
Oh, that it had a visual novel?
Or you were talking about it in some capacity somewhere. I want to assume Twitter, but yeah, I didn't know it had a visual novel. And then, especially now you talk about it and how it's really fucking good, makes me even more interested about it. But, so, okay. Was that all you had to say?
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, like, I still really like the visual novel in general, even aside from Hinata. Like, all this, I think every route except for the Iwasawa route had me, like, crying at some point. Like, Otonashi's backstory, specifically, was, like, one of the notable points where like I was just like breaking down like that really got to me. The one moment that I will say is like I'm not as into anymore, even when I watched the anime, was like my favorite moment like I don't know if it was my favorite moment, but it's the moment that made me the most emotional was the ending of Angel Beats, where whatchamacallit, why am I losing the my train of thought now? Where Yui's not Yui, fuck, Angel Tenchi is disappearing, and like Odanashi's like, you know, trying to keep her there, and like he's losing this person that's incredibly important to him, and the one reason that he could probably stay and be fine in this in the world specifically, that used to be like my favorite moment, and like something that made me super emotional, and that's not really like something that I like as much now, specifically because like I don't think Odanashi and like Odanashi's romance with her is like really that good. Like even in the visual novel, like I don't know, I don't get that much out of that. But there's still so many other moments that like are way stronger to me now after having experienced the visual novel, that like I don't really mind that. And I feel like maybe if a visual novel like got the chance to be fully complete and had like a Kanade route to actually like kind of flesh her out and maybe give more between them, it'd be like super good. But that obviously didn't happen. But I really like Angel Beats. I like Hinata. I wish I could just say the spoiler, but I'll just say it after Craftsdwarf reads it.
I'm sure I'll want to talk about it on the weekly. But you know, sometime this year, hopefully. I do have a question for you though, because I remember when I watched it, Yuri was one of the like, because she's one of the major characters, and I remember feeling like I should like her more than I did. Do you like her? Or how do you feel about her?
I like her, but she's not amazing. She's not one of the characters that like I really love.
Yeah, I don't know. I just remember having a feeling. I just can't explain why, because it's been years since I saw Angel Beats.
Yeah, she's one of the characters I also wish had a root in the game. Like, it's a little disappointing that she doesn't. Like, I'm still satisfied with how the visual novel is in its current form. Like even though Yuri is a more important character, I still would not like if it were like, oh, I had to take out the Matsuhita Dan route, or to give Yuri her route, I would not take out the Matsuhita Dan route. Even though in the anime, when I watched that, like to most people, Matsuhita Dan is just a guy. Like, he's just some guy that was in the show that's not memorable. But now, after having seen his route, I would not trade that. Like, that is my second favorite route in the game. Like every time I see like one of the major moments in his route involves sunflowers, and every time I see sunflowers now, I just think of him. Like I just think of my big man Matsuhita Dan, and the one like really standout scene from that route.
Cool.
Good game. Good visual novel.
All right, I have like fucking 7 things I'm gonna blow through. So one of my favorites from last year is I finished the second half of Young Justice Phantoms, which is the 4th season. And I mean, aside from it just like wrapping up its stuff really well, like, it was not intended to be the last season of the show. I don't know what the fuck's going on with HBO Max. Apparently they canceled a bunch of shit, and people were mad, so I don't know if they're going to uncancel. Young Justice, this is like the 3rd time Young Justice has been canceled. I'm used to it at this point. That said, it did end at a pretty decent point. And I don't know, I think especially last episode just had like a marriage between 2 characters, and it just kind of hit me, because this show's been with me for 10 years, and I've been watching it with another friend who is really into superhero stuff, and who I've been, we've been friends for ages, and like, just watching this season, hit its climax, it just kind of sank in of, how much the show means to me, because it's been with me for so long, and it is really solid and good. And, so yeah, Phantoms was good, even though, unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to get a season 5, but it's, even what we got is still pretty fucking solid as a superhero show. Less favorite thing, that is just really funny to me. I watched Taken 3 on accident.
Oh my God.
So what happened is I was, sitting in the living room, because I was not living with my family for the last year. I was living with my best friend and his dad, who's like an older guy, and he put on Taken 3 because he likes Liam Neeson, and he just kept it on because I guess I was watching it, and me and my friend were sitting in the room and we were paying some attention to it. I have not seen Taken 1 or 2.
I feel like I saw half of one of the Taken movies on TV sometime. I don't know which one.
So I was paying just enough about Taken 3 to like I could explain the plot of the movie. I didn't like it. It was bad. It was, however, kind of fucking funny like 3 times, and that made it like not worth it to go through it, but worth it to talk about it. So basically, the plot of the movie is the guy who had his family taken. He buys a bagel. This is important. He comes home and his wife dies. His wife is dead. He got killed. They took her life. It's so sad. And then he's got to go on the vengeance quest to kill the guy who took taken. That's not the important part. The important part is Forrest Whitaker plays a detective, and he comes in to the crime scene, and because it's like, oh shit, the guy Liam Neeson killed his wife. That he was framed, I guess is the thing. And so the detective's checking out, and he eats the bagel. He eats the bagel that Liam Neeson bought. He's like examining the crime scene. He just picks up this evidence and he eats it, and I'm like, what?
Goat.
This is important. So anyway, later, Liam Neeson's like doing a fight scene in an elevator, and he's like got a car, or not like a skyscraper, and he's got a car, like a parking garage or something, and he like drives backwards into the elevator, and it explodes, and then it cuts into the next scene. He's just talking to a dude on the phone on the roof, and later on in the movie, he had a scene where like he was in a car that got fucked up, and it showed how he got out of that situation, but it didn't show how he got out of the exploding elevator shaft. I assume he just teleported. So this is probably established in movies 1 or 2 that he can teleport, but I haven't watched them, so I can't, I don't know. Anyway, not important. So his daughter was getting investigated by Forrest Whitaker, and she like eats some yogurt and throws it in the trash. Forrest Whitaker takes the yogurt out of the trash and tastes it, and therefore I'm convinced that he's like just hungry. Like he's a detective, but he's underpaid. He's just not getting fed, which is why he's literally eating food out of trash while on investigation. Like he's just so dedicated to his work that he just has to eat on the job. And he just doesn't have the money to just go to McDonald's or something. In fact, it's probably just it might just be efficiency. And yeah, whatever. It turns out like there's like they try to do like a meeting, or they do a meeting. Like he's like a guy wouldn't buy a warm bagel and come home and kill his wife. It just didn't make sense. Doesn't explain why he ate the daughter's yogurt. Like it was already eaten. He literally like ran his finger into the thing and tasted it. I'm like, why are you doing this, man? Like I don't know what his character. This movie sucks. That's all I got out of it. Forrest Whitaker's character. Anyway, aside from that, I read a bunch of fucking manga. So all of these, Girls Last Tour was a show. I watched the anime a few years ago, when it aired, and then I read the manga last year. Very fucking good. Does things that I like. It's, I don't know. It's, about death and
would someone who liked the anime a lot, should I go fucking read it eventually when I learn how to read manga again?
Yeah, okay. I think so. I mean, I really like both. I don't know which I like more because the anime is, does some really cool things with the atmosphere, but the manga, it has the ending. Like it goes a little bit for like the anime doesn't fully adapt the manga, but both are really good. And if you like one, there's no reason not to check out the other.
Banger OPNED, by the way. That's
let's go. So then the rest of the manga that I caught up to, there's one that I'm gonna save. I'm gonna talk about Ippo in more detail later because it's fucking Ippo, and it's like, I'll just talk about a fucking 1,300 chapter manga in 5 minutes. Let's go. So anyway, Interviews with Monster Girls goes fucking hard, which I feel like I shouldn't be saying about what's ultimately like a kind of cute girl slice of life comedy thing, but like. It just
that shit goes crazy.
Like the manga just continues what the anime does, where it's like because but it goes even further with it, where it's like so there's monster girls in the setting where they're kind of low key, all things considered. Like the vampire doesn't disintegrate in sunlight, but she does get kind of fatigued. The Yuki Onna just her sweat is frozen. And then she doesn't take warm temperatures either. Like which that's kind of used as like an allegory for like disability and living with disability, just through these sort of fantasy examples. And but then like the Dullahan character, they actually go into like the physics of how that works, and especially the manga goes into like how they continue and build off of that with how perception and affects things, and there's there's I'm gonna explain this vaguely, but there's a scene where they use the mechanics that they've been exploring to temporarily reattach the Dullahan character's head, and it's kind of interesting, like how it happens and like why it happens, and it's just like and they also examine like it from like a social perspective with like like what's the popular consensus on monster girls and like vampires in particular, because they're potentially dangerous to people if they're if they don't get their blood and they try to get their blood. But like the main vampire, she gets like government issued blood bags every like month, but like there's a flashback with her Hikari, and it's fucking good. And like I don't know, it's just like I just really like how like even aside from all that, like the characters are really fun and the comedy is very good, and it's just like a well-written series on its own. But I just really like how they take the setting idea and explore it in as many ways as possible and really well, and it's fucking banger manga. I also caught up to Yatsuba Yatsuba To, which was I've known about it literally for over a decade because of 4chan, but I tried to read it when I learned Japanese in Japanese, but I didn't get that far because I stopped trying to learn Japanese, and I decided to read it in English, and yeah, it's just very funny and wholesome and good, and yes, great fucking manga. Like it's just I just there's some scenes I think of that I just think are insanely funny, and it's like I don't know, and there's even a couple emotional spots. Like there's like one recent chapter I think where like god damn, yeah, but I won't go into it. I caught up to Sono Bisuke, My Dress Up Darling, the manga, also very fucking good, insanely good. Holy shit.
Yeah, that shit goes hard. I love that manga.
Anime better.
Like, God. I mean, the anime is really fucking good, but give me a season 2, and then maybe we'll talk. True. There's shit that I need to. It's so good. Holy fuck, the way when fucking Marion was because she doesn't like grasp Gojo being fucking awkward as shit. And like, so she's assuming the wrong things, and sometimes it's really fucking funny. And then there's one scene where she literally just breaks down crying, and it's the saddest shit. And God, she's good. It's good fucking manga. I'm really excited about where the next cosplay is going, because they brought up the author specifically, which they haven't done before. So I think that's gonna turn into something. I don't know. I'm curious. Also, Shoha Shoten, which is it's a comedy manga about comedy. Where the main characters are manzai comedians. It's drawn by the author, by the artist who did Death Note and Bakuman, but it has a different writer, so there's no misogyny this time yet. So yeah, the manga is super good. It's literally only like like 2 or 3 volumes so far, but it's already really fucking good and very fucking funny. And yeah, this is good manga. Highly recommended. All the manga I talk about, I recommend reading. And yeah, that about covers it.
Pog. I go first for rotations, right?
Yes, we're gonna do at least one week, or we could do 2. I don't mind. It depends on how we feel. But go ahead.
I'm just gonna cheat and talk about 2 at once. It's fine. Okay. I basically have kind of the same thing to say about them. So I chose to catch up to like 4 manga recently. That's like stuff that like I wasn't that far behind, but like a little. Like there was a decent stack of chapters to read, so I just caught up on them. But I want to talk about 2 of them. I'm not really that interested in talking about like all 4 of them that I caught up to. And that's Nagatoro and Anjo-san. Well, the full title's Yansha Gal no Anjo-san, but those 2 I'm super into both of them. They're literally my favorite thing to read as they come out currently. Like they're definitely the contributors to my rom-com brain rot. Like I've definitely switched up, and rom-coms are just my favorite things to read for a very long time currently, and not battle shonen. Cause the thing is honestly, like I don't have the same brain rot when it comes to rom-coms that I do battle shonen at times, where like rom-coms, I can honestly just not read them for a while and come back and they're still really good. And I don't like, even though there's some things that I'm going to forget over time, they're still like solid, and I don't think they're just like bad or something because I forgot whatever. Like, come back, they're still goated. And Anjo-san and Nagatoro in particular, I literally think they're both in a certain phase where they're like literally just bangers constantly. Every chapter is so insanely good. Nagatoro, the stuff between Nagatoro and Senpai is like, it's literally constantly developing right now. Like, there's literally, like, the point they're at in the relationship is so good that, like, Senpai is, like, right now Senpai is, like, on a big thing of, like, he's more confident now. Like, he keeps trying new things, and he's, like, trying to become a very good artist, and he's, like, outright said that he wants to confess to Nagatoro right now, and they both acknowledge that they like each other. And, like, I just think it's so wholesome right now. If someone didn't like Nagatoro, like, at first, they would definitely not think this, like, if they saw how it is now, it would definitely be a very different impression. Not that I even necessarily think Nagatoro was, like, bad at first or anything, because I never had, like, the same problem that some other people had with it at first. But, like, it has evolved so much, and it's, like, so good, and it's, like, even though I didn't have a problem with Nagatoro, I didn't think it would be as wholesome as it is now. Like, it is insanely wholesome. One of the most wholesome manga that I'm reading right now. Anjo-san, like, insanely good. It's also very wholesome, but I, like, not only is the main two girls in the series just incredibly hot, like, just like, if you've seen art from Anjo-san, you're gonna read it one day for sure. Like, just from seeing it. It's also, like, you know, again, like, something that's, like, constantly developing right now. It's insane that, like, with Anjo-san, depending on who you ask, is kind of a spoiler, but fuck it. I think it's interesting that, like, the main character and Anjo-san are already hooked up, like, right now. Like, it happened, like, kind of a while, like, maybe, like, 30 chapters ago, or 40 or something. Maybe, like, 30. Maybe I'm, like, overestimating. But it's interesting that they're just together, but, like, it's going in depth of, like, still showing, like, things that they can get better at, and, like, their relationship developing, and especially because the main character obviously hasn't been in a relationship before, and he's, you know, there's still things he needs to learn and grow. And I really like the secondary romance between the main character's best friend and the best friend of Anjo-san. That stuff's really good. His best friend is such an incel, but, like, he's one of the most likable incels in a rom-com of all time. Like, I don't know how Anjo-san does it, but, like, the way he grows on you is just, like, so insanely good that, like, even though he's literally, like, to this day, still an incel, like, he's not suddenly not an incel and not, like, having some of these thoughts he had before, but, like, he's so likable. Like, I don't know how they do it. Like, I love him.
In what way? Because, I mean, I know the base definition of involuntary celibate, but, like, you know, that it's the way it's used doesn't necessarily reflect.
Yeah, I do get that.
How would you define incel, basically? Does he hate women? Like, is he based, or...
No, he doesn't hate women. He's just, like, super perverse and, like...
Okay.
I mean, he does kind of do that thing of, like, not now, but, like, before, he kind of did a thing of, like, why aren't women paying attention to me, or something. Like, like, he kind of thinks he deserves a woman, kind of, sort of.
Okay,
he was definitely kind of like that.
Then. Okay.
Yeah. And I this one thing I love that they do that makes him so, like, it's just a visual thing that, like, it really makes me smile when I see it, is, like, normally he's drawn with, like, this shadow over his eyes because, like, you know, you put the shadow over his eyes because he looks shady and he's, like, he's a perverted guy. But, like, when he's being genuine, there's no shadow, and you can fully see his face, and they save it for, like, these notable moments. And, like, I just love that. Like, he's so good. I'm gonna post this, and this is from, like, the newest chapter. Like, I love him. He's so good. Like, I think his thing is so strong that, like, he could literally be the protagonist of his own series. Like if they wanted to like flip it around and like these two were the main characters, and then Anjo and the actual main character were the secondary romance. Like it would still work as a series. Not that they should do that or anything, but like I enjoy his so much that like I literally think he could carry his own series. I really want people to read Anjo-san because like it definitely goes toe to toe with like these like big rom-com series people talk about, like Komi-san, fucking Dress Up Darling, Rent a Girlfriend, Nagatoro. Like I wish it was like in the same league of discussion as those, but it's not. Partially probably because this is like a seinen rom-com series and it's also like not adapted.
Yeah, I was about to say, does it have an anime? Because that's your answer right there.
Yeah. I do hope people catch on at some point, and I hope people are like smart about this guy, the incel king, because he's so likable. He's like I'm sure at first people will not be on the wave of him, but like if you don't come around to him, I don't know, you don't have a heart. Like holy shit, he's so good. But yeah, those are the two things I wanted to talk about from this week.
Before we move on, because I have a question, because I'm interested in Anjo-san, but regarding the manga that you caught up with, I just want to know: do you like Rent a Girlfriend or not?
Yeah, I still like Rent a Girlfriend.
Every time I catch up, it's good. Every time I catch up, it's good.
That's what
I still think it's good. Like basically,
all I know about it is that people are pissed, and I don't know why because I have not.
People have been pissed about that manga for fucking months, years even, and it's like every time it comes down to not having read it. Like the cuck shit was the most overblown. Like that is like the litmus test for who's even read it. If they bring it up, they like don't. They just read Twitter because like it is like was such a nothing thing. Even when it happened, it was like obviously not that. You know what I mean? People are just fucking ill.
The thing I'll give people with Rent a Girlfriend is like I don't think it's in a phase where it has banger after banger chapters, but there's still solid chapters. Like I don't think there's not a chapter that I thought was like actively bad.
And when it still goes for its big emotional moments, they still hit, I think.
Okay, I just want to know.
Kazuya's still great. I mean, you know. Okay. My turn?
Yeah, go and do your two pick, or you could do one or two.
I just got one. Look, I gotta talk about the most genius idea, the greatest video game ever made, put on God's green earth.
You already talked about Turnip Boy Does Tax Evasion.
It is a little video game called Pokemon Emerald Rogue. It is a little ROM hack for Pokemon Emerald. Here's what it is. It's just a roguelite. But it's Pokemon, and so you like go onto it, like you kind of pick a route that you do, and it's like the route will either have more trainer or harder trainers and less Pokemon on it, or less trainers and more Pokemon, and then you just try to assemble a team. So like a route might have 4 Pokemon on it, and it's completely randomized. And at the start, you only have gens 1 through 3, but I found like the little secret button because I wanted the national dex, and I didn't want to wait. So because I was tired of like getting Pokemon that evolved later, like seeing like even like a
Tangela
like a Tangela, and it's like, oh, I can't get Tangrowth. Why the fuck do I have this? Or like getting Murkrow and being like, dude, Honchkrow is about to go.
I looked up gameplay and it looks like there's going up at least up to 8th generation. In the ROM hack. So
yeah. And like mechanics and everything. And I was playing with late gym mechanics, but I didn't even have like access to evolutions, and it pissed me off. So I was like, all right, how can I get the national dex early? And I went and did it, because I don't care. But, like, I have been playing it nonstop. It is the most fun thing I've ever played. Pokemon adapts itself so fucking perfectly to a roguelike. And it's, like, exactly what you want. Like, it's why you replay Pokemon games, and you just get to run it. You get to go. You get to use a new team. You get to, like, kind of think about what Pokemon you want to use. And, you know, quickly then you're at a gym battle. And then, like, you know, and I haven't even finished a run. I keep getting my ass handed to me, like, at, like, gym like 5 or 6. It gets hard, and what just always ends up happening is just one Pokemon that like a gym leader has just fucking sweeps, because like they'll just have something like goated, and if you're not ready, you know what I mean, like if your team isn't built well. I
saw some gameplay of the Elite Four, and yeah, they like fucking Drake, Mr. Elite Four man in Gen 3 has fucking Rayquaza, Latios.
Well, it's
rather, and
randomized every
fucking-
time, yeah.
Oh, it's randomized. Okay, but he had 3 fucking uber legendaries.
Yeah, like they
basically.
just have their typing, but it's not the same. Like you can't learn what
Okay.
they have.
Gotcha.
Like it's
okay,
all
I was
randomized.
just this one video that I watched. He had Dialga, yeah, so he can have at least 3 legendaries, which is like, and like Rayquaza isn't like a pushover. Like Dialga's like not one of the like top tier legends, but Rayquaza can be pretty fucking tough. So, you know, but well, maybe that's Mega Rayquaza. But yeah, I can see like how if you know, yeah, okay, I'm interested in it. But
It's
okay.
it's fucking fun. I would like to do maybe Weeb Club content of it sometime. It's like all I've been playing, literally. Like if I'm at home, I'm just playing fucking Emerald Rogue. I've thought of like getting a fucking Game Boy Advance emulator on something else so that I can fucking play Emerald Rogue when I'm not at home because I'm playing it. So it's so fucking fun. I fucking
If
love
only
it.
you had a handheld.
I know. Well, if only I had an
console
SD card reader. If only I had an
Oh
SD card
shit!
reader. That's the thing. I'm ordering one soon, but
Rest in peace.
that's what I need. Yeah. And then I definitely will be. No. But it's great on computer because I use fucking speed up. You know what I mean? And then I lose all my Pokemon because I'm using speed up and not paying attention. And then I fucking kill myself. I love it. And oh, the other nice part is like you just level up fast as fuck. Like you fight like one wild Pokemon and all your Pokemon, all 6 of them, just like get up to level 10 from like level 1. So like it doesn't waste your time with like levels, which is like the worst part, right? Of like playing Pokemon is like having to deal with like leveling up. You don't have to deal with that shit at all. You can just get to like battles where you have to like sit there and fucking think and be like, you know, and you have to think with like your moves and, you know, and there is like, you know, still some like roguelike luck. Like sometimes like, you know, you'll catch an Onyx and be like, okay, you know, Onyx is kind of good, but like really I need Steelix. And so you have to like go to like the like people that you can buy items from and look and be like, you know, can I get a metal coat? And just hope and like pray to God that you get a metal coat to spawn so that you can put it on Onyx and he can evolve. But then like what's nice is you don't miss like, because it's really easy to find like the move relearner. It's not like, oh, I have a late Steelix, now I'm fucked because I missed out on like level up moves. You know what I mean? You can just go get those at any time. So, and you can go get like egg moves and stuff at any time. So there's like the game really allows you to like set up your team how you want, while also still being like random and not just like giving everything to you for free. Like you have to make like meaningful choices in how you do it. It's like really fucking cool, and I like super recommend it. And I'm not surprised that Pokemon adapted it, like that Pokemon works so well in that format, but I'm surprised at how well the guy making the ROM hack was able to adapt it, if that makes sense. Like I think that he adapted it so crazy well that it's kind of mind-blowing, like how good a job I think he did. But it doesn't surprise me that it could be done.
I got you.
But it goes hard.
I guess one question, because one kind of neat thing about like I guess random, you know, where you don't necessarily have the full choice of Pokemon that you can use like in a regular game. Like you get it with Nuzlocke, and you would also get it with this one. But like, have you had instances of you coming to like a Pokemon more because like it came in clutch or something, where you normally wouldn't have used the Pokemon? Or
yeah, it happens. One happened the earlier today. I don't remember who it was. But also, like, because I haven't played, like, Sun and Moon or really, like, X and Y, there's some Pokemon that I don't know. So they'll show up, and it's like, who the fuck is this? And it's fun. It's a good time, though. I mean, so this isn't the same, but I saw Joltik, who's a Pokemon that happened to me in a Nuzlocke. And so I've had a Joltik because I love him, but I don't know.
Okay. I'm going to talk about 2 things. One of them being something I played last year, and one of them being something I finished literally today. Devil May Cry 1 and 2. So, so I already talked with you about Vindy, about Devil May Cry, because, I mean,
oh my god, wait, so you've seen the throw-up room now?
Which one? You're going to have to be more specific, because I mean, the first game, there was one, like, wide open room with the sort of, like, flip point in the middle that I
Craftsdwarf,
like,
the DMC2 room.
I can. Was it the boss room with the fucking wolf and the skeleton?
I posted it.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't realize. Let me check.
The DMC2 room.
Oh God.
Like
what is
the
that?
room.
Oh no.
That's a room in the game.
I don't know where it is because I didn't find it. It's probably a secret. that's probably a secret room. Where like, and I only did like 2 secrets, so
That's in the
Jesus
video game
Christ.
that you played.
Why? No, I'm gonna talk about Devil May Cry 2 because holy shit. But anyway, so Devil May Cry 1 is like, I was playing it and I honestly didn't like it. Especially after playing Devil May Cry 2. But well, even just thinking about it in the time it came out, like there was nothing like it. Like I understand people liking it, and I can't get mad over a game for being jank, or not, or more like I can't be like, I don't understand why people like this game for a game having jank when I can literally grab my Vita, go into the PSP emulator, and boot up Monster Hunter Freedom and fight a monster. Like I can't, in good faith, be like, how do people like this game when I will literally go play Monster Hunter Freedom right now. So like, because there's things about the game that I understand are perfectly fine. And I don't have a problem. Like I'm fine with Dante. The aesthetic of the castle is neat. I suppose the soundtrack, it's Devil May Cry. That's one of the things people really fucking like about it. And I'm not gonna, but like, they're just really, in the first game, there isn't anything I like about it. I don't really like the story. I don't like a lot of the combat, mostly because the camera. Here's the thing: if you isolate individual elements of Devil May Cry, I don't think there's a single thing, for the most part, like gameplay wise, I have an issue with. It's when they come together that I really have problems. And I'm just gonna describe like my least favorite boss fight in Devil May Cry 1, which is Nightmare, who's the big fucking blob. Who I just hate this boss. I despise, like, it is agony trying to fight him, and they make you fucking fight all the bosses like 3 times in the goddamn game. And this one specifically is like, so obviously, so yeah, the camera, where it's like it's not fixed, like it's not static, like it'll follow Dante, but it does do the Resident Evil thing where it'll shift perspectives, and which again in itself not a problem. But when I'm playing an action game where I want to control my character and I have directional inputs that matter where the camera is facing, and if the camera shifts and I'm not prepared for it and I do an input, well, now I'm doing the wrong type of roll because Dante has 4 different evades based on which direction you're pressing, and now I'm doing the wrong one because the camera flipped, or I'm trying to do this attack and it's not going the direction I want it to. Like that was annoying as shit. Made worse by the auto lock on, because the game, you don't get to choose what enemy Dante is trying to fight because he'll just target whatever the fuck he feels like targeting, I suppose. Probably whatever's closest, but which is really bad in the Nightmare fight because he spawns enemies that you can't hurt or kill, but you're trying to hit the switch on the wall so you can make the Nightmare vulnerable, but he's sending these little enemies that you can't hurt or kill after you, and Dante's auto-locking onto them, and now the attacks that you want to go elsewhere. It's just really frustrating. So like, again, all these elements working like together make it a problem when I just would like to have more control over the character like I have in other games, where I can lock on to what I want to, or I can move the camera myself, which would make the rest of the other parts of the game more like playable. And the story is like, I don't know, I get the point, but it's just, I don't know, I didn't care. Like, Dante's fine, I don't care about Trish. Devil Never Cry is, I like, this is like, here's the point of the game, and I'm just laughing out loud because it's just so, I get it, it's like a B-movie thing, whatever. I don't know. Devil May Cry. But then, so yeah, I have problems with Devil May Cry. And I did try to play it again this year because I was going to see if I could like retry it and maybe give it another shot and see if my feelings would change on it. But I just got frustrated. I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to keep going in the franchise. And then play its, what better be the fucking worst game in this goddamn franchise, I swear to fucking God, Devil May Cry 2. Holy shit. Because I have issues with Devil May Cry 1, but I would go back and play and beat that game again before I, like, oh my God, Devil May Cry 2. How is it so bad? Oh God. They literally, like, they didn't fix anything. Like, I mentioned all my problems with Devil May Cry 1. If anything, they made them all worse. How? Like, the story is even more nothing burger, and they literally just, like, rip off the same kind of plot beats, where, like, Trish was made by Mungus Among Us, or whatever his fucking name is. And...
Hello?
You know what? That's close enough.
I think so. But, like, oh,
shout out to Mungus Among Us.
she's the spawn of the devil, but devil never cry because she has humanity, and she's not. It's fine, whatever. And then there's the fucking red-haired bitch in the second game who, like, literally out of nowhere, like halfway through the game, drops that, oh, the main antagonist just created me. She literally has the exact same conflict, except it's done even worse. And it's like, what the literal fuck? And Dante is just fucking boring. Like, at least he had some, whatever, personality in the first game, but in the second one, he's just, like, edgier for some reason. And there was, like, one good line, like, right before you go fight the final boss, I guess, where it's, like, something related to his dad. And I was like, oh, okay. Wow, the game's not a complete nothing, I guess, but it's still, like, not too little too late, if that makes sense. And then the gameplay, it's like, I think Dante's attacks felt okay. He just has less options in combat. Like, I think he has 3 swords. I only used 2 of them, and they have the exact same moves, where at least in the first game he has the Ifrit, which, is a completely different way to play, which is cool. I'm glad that it exists. And he has more firearms in the first. Like, it's just... Devil May Cry should have been the first one, because it sucks, and then Devil May Cry 1 would have been the one that improves on it. Like how sequels are supposed to fucking work. But no. And then so even if, like, the base combat was fine, like, the level design and the enemies just are fucking terrible. Like, it's so easy and boring. Like, the amount of times I was literally just standing there holding the lock on and holding the gun button and watching the enemy's health bar drop down of some guy who's off screen who I can't even see, and he can't do anything because he's being shot. And I'm just like, why is he spawning over there? Why is the camera like this? Why is this game like this? And, like, the bosses tended to be just really boring and easy. And except for the last boss who just kicks you in the dick and teleports around like fucking crazy, and I'm like, what the literal fuck? Why did the game get fucking difficult all of a sudden? Like, literally just for the last boss. And God, the worst boss though was definitely, there was like a skelly knight guy who you fight with 2 wolves, and like, the camera is really bad, where it's just like, imagine fighting the Capra demon, but every time you, like, move like 3 steps, the camera does like a full 180. That's what fighting this fucking guy is like. It's fucking horrible. God. What else? And they'll just throw enemies at you, like the fucking infected tank and helicopters that just have a shitload of health, and like you just stand by the tank and hit triangle until it dies. Like, but it literally takes like fucking 30, 40, 50 seconds. Like, it just, God, it's so bad. Holy shit. I except for Seraphic Blue, I don't think I've played a worse game in literally over a decade. Like, oh my God. Devil May Cry 2 is
Oh my
bad.
God.
Yeah, it's fucking horrible.
Well, try Sonic Adventure 2.
I'll probably like it. Fuck off. The only Sonic game that matters. Anyway, but yeah, so I guess if Devil May Cry is just like okay, I don't even know if I'm gonna go. I mean, 5 looks so fucking cool though. Like
3 is
God.
fun. No. Look. You're past the worst of it. Like, that's the best thing right now. Okay, it literally does not get worse. It only gets better.
No, because I remember I said I was just gonna play all of them, and you're like, no, respect yourself, don't play DMC. And I'm like, and now I'm like, Vindy, there is no, like. Maybe it's somehow worse than Devil May Cry 1, but if it is, there's no fucking way it's worse than Devil May Cry 2. I refuse to fucking believe that.
But here's what I mean by respect yourself, don't play DMC. It's about self-care more than anything, right? So it's not that, like, DMC is worse than 1 and 2, but it's that you can't skip 1 and 2, but you can skip DMC. You know what I mean? Like, you shouldn't...
DMC's the only one I've played. I haven't beaten it, but it's the only one I've actually, like, played some of.
And then 5 goes hard. You just got to get there. Just play the Switch version of 3. It's okay.
I already bought the PS4 version, so I'm just going to play that.
Yeah, but you can spend, like, $15 for style switching.
A different time. Another place.
I fucking hate Nintendo. I hate Capcom. I hate everyone. They're all dead to me.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I haven't bought 4 DMC and 5 yet, so but luckily they're not expensive. I think they're only like fucking $20-ish or so. Maybe not 5 because that's newer. But
yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, that's my feelings on DMC so far. Is why? I mean, again, like the first game, I understand why there'd be people who like it, especially but like I said earlier, I just did not have a good time with it. So, and I don't feel like going back and giving it. Maybe if I care more after playing the rest of the games, whatever. But that's it. I'm done.
Alrighty, so what do y'all think you will talk about next time on this podcast that hopefully does not get recorded in the middle of the night for poor Nunmanji? I'm so sorry, King.
Well, I think I'll probably be talking about the rest of Code Geass. Well, what's out right now. I was not home for a couple of days, so I couldn't continue watching the movies. But I did watch all of the Akito ones, like the 5 of those.
I saw you watched like 3 movies in 2 days, and I was like, Jesus. How long? None. Crazy.
I mean, the Akito movies, the first one's like 55 minutes, and the other ones are like an hour or so. But I did watch the first of like the quote unquote Code Geass rebuild movies, which that was like 2 hours and some minutes, and they only get longer from there, so it's gonna be fun. But yeah, I should be done with those by the time we record next.
Okay. See, my problem is I'm going through stuff that I'm either going to be talking about elsewhere, so I don't feel like talking about it on the Weeb Club, or it's just like I'm watching Aikatsu right now. I will not be done with Aikatsu until like fucking June, because I'm watching 1 episode a day, or July, like fucking so literally months. Like I'm almost 50 episodes in, and that's like, halfway. not even halfway, So okay, it's halfway through.
Right. Yeah, 50 episodes. It's a quarter of the way through.
It's halfway through Ichigo's story.
You're right. I forgot that I like never finished the second half of that show. I saw the first 100 episodes. I was like, you know what? I've seen enough. I got it. I get it.
But Akari is so good though.
But I got it. I get it. What I mean? Like I know what Aikatsu is.
The fact that you, Vindy, Mr. Friendship, will never watch Aikatsu Friends is disgusting.
I got it. I get it.
Sin.
I got it.
I've
seen enough Aikatsu. I know what it is.
Find Jesus, church diff.
Maybe you got me there.
And then aside from that, there's some other, and of course I still have a bunch of stuff from last year I can still talk about. Maybe I'll prime myself up for the Muv-Love fucking rant about how fucking good it is. But one day for sure. Anyway, go ahead, Vindy.
I will most likely. So I have read 2 whole books since the last Weeb Club. The problem is it's 2 books in a trilogy, so I feel like I might as well just wait till I finish the 3rd book, which will probably happen this week. I'm only like 100 pages in, but the book's only like 700 pages, so I got, 600. I can read 600 pages in a week. So I'll probably talk about all 3 Mistborn books next time, since the first one was like really good, and I thought that they were going to do like the funny, like not the, but like, I feel like it like, I am not surprised in a trilogy if like 1, especially when like 1 is a very self-contained story in a lot of ways. 2 kind of dips a little bit to set up for 3. But I feel like the second one was like even better. Like the second book I liked even more. And that shit had me like fucking crying. Like just sitting on the couch fucking crying my eyes out at a poor man. Oh my God. So I'm very excited to read the 3rd book, and I'll probably do it this week.
Okay, cool. And also I realized I didn't actually say anything aside from things that, vaguely things I did last year. I'm probably going to have seen Ant-Man Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's coming out tomorrow, actually, but I won't see it tomorrow. I'll see it in a couple days. I'm going. A friend invited me, so probably going to go check that out. And then, So yeah.
Nice.
All right. That calls the episode, I think.
Adios, gamers.
Goodbye. Thank you for watching, listening. Yeah.